3 men were swept up by the flabby claws before anybody turned. God rest them, if there be any rest in the universe. They were Donovan, Guerra, and Angstrom. Parker slipped as the other 3 were plunging frenziedly over the endless vistas of green-crusted rock to the boat. Johansen swears he was swallowed up by an angle of masonry which shouldn't have been there, an angle which was acute but behaved as if it were obtuse. Only Bredden and Johansen reached the boat and pulled desperately for the Alert as the mountainous monstrosity flopped down the slimy stones and hesitated, floundering at the edge of the water. Steam had not been suffered to go down entirely, despite the departure of all hands for the shore, and it was the work of only a few moments of feverish rushing up and down between wheel and engines to get the Alert under way. Slowly, amidst the distorted horrors of that indescribable scene, she began to churn the lethal waters, whilst on the masonry of that charnel shore that was not of earth, the Titan, thing from the stars, slavered and gibbered like Polypheme, cursing the fleeing ship of Odysseus. Then bolder than the storied Cyclops, great Cthulhu slid greasily into the water and began to pursue with vast, wave-rising strokes of cosmic potency. Bryden looked back and went mad, laughing shrilly as he kept on laughing at intervals till death found him one night in the cabin, whilst Johansen was wandering deliriously. But Johansen had not given out yet. Knowing that the thing could surely overtake the Alert until steam was fully up, he resolved on the desperate chance, and setting the engine for full speed, ran lightning-like on deck and reversed the wheel. There was a mighty eddying and foaming in the noisome brine, and as the steam mounted higher and higher, the brave Norwegian drove his vessel head on against the pursuing jelly, which rose above the unclean froth like the stern of a dammon gallon. The awful squid head, with writhing feelers, came nearly up to the bowsprit of the sturdy yacht, but Johansen drove on relentlessly. There was a bursting as of an exploding bladder, a slushy nastiness of a cloven sunfish, a stench of 1,000 open graves, and a sound that the chronicler would not put on paper. For an instant the ship was befouled by an acrid and blinding green cloud, and then there was only a venomous, seething astem, where, God in heaven, the scattered plasticity of that nameless sky spawn was nebulously recombining in its hateful original form, whilst its distance widening every second as the Alert gained impetus from its mounting steam. That was all. After that, Johansen only brooded over the idol in the cabin, and attended to a few matters of food for himself and the laughing maniac by his side. He did not try to navigate after the first bold flight, for the reaction had taken something out of his soul. Then came the storm of April 2nd, and a gathering of the clouds about his consciousness. There is a sense of spectral whirling through liquid gulfs of infinity, of dizzying rides through reeling universes on a comet's tail, and of hysterical plunges from the pit to the moon and from the moon back again to the pit, all livened by a cachinnating chorus of the distorted, hilarious elder entities and the green, bat-winged mocking imps of Tartarus. Out of that dream came rescue, the vigilant, the Vice Admiralty Court, the streets of Dunedin, and the long voyage back home to the old house by the Eggeberg. He could not tell. They would think him mad. He would write of what he knew before death came, but his wife must not guess. Death would be a boon if only it could blot out the memories. That was the document I read, and now I have placed it in the tin box beside the bas relief and the papers of Professor Angell. With it shall go this record of mine, this test of my own sanity, wherein is pieced together that which I hope may never be pieced together again. I have looked upon all that the universe has to hold of horror, and even the skies of spring and flowers of summer must ever afterward be poison to me. But I do not think my life will be long. As my uncle went, as poor Johansen went, so shall I go. I know too much, and the cult still lives. Cthulhu still lives too. I suppose again in that chasm of stone which has shielded him since the sun was young. His accursed city is sunken once more, for the Vigilant sailed over the spot after that April storm, but his ministers on earth still bellow and prance and slay around, idle-capped monoliths in lonely places. He must have been trapped by the sinking whilst within his black abyss, or else would the world by now be screaming with fright and frenzy. Who knows the end? What has risen may sink, and what has sunk may rise. Loathsome waits and dreams in the deep, and decays spread over the tottering cities of men. A time will come, but I must not and cannot think. Let me pray that, if I do not survive this manuscript, may my executors put caution before audacity, and see that it meets no other eye. Cthulhu and other such things could be said to represent the obscurity that we see in how these beings that predate the humans, the jinn, take on forms that are beyond what we can describe, and some of them very monstrous. And people talk about an anti-cosmic spirituality. It's not so much that it's anti-cosmic, it's that there's a holy otherness to it. It's so alien that, now, in the case of some of the jinn, particularly the shayateen mental jinn, you have... Now, if that which is not dead, which can eternal lie, and with strange ions, even death may die. That'd be an interesting one if that was listed as in the characters. Cthulhu Fatagan, the theme of a Metallica song, Cthulhu Awaken. The angle, which was acute, but acted as if it were obtuse. That's like one of the most memorable lines for me. Well, I didn't quote it exactly, did I? Pa naglui maglu napha Cthulhu Raya Waga Nagel Vatagan.